Right. Again, thank you all for joining the March 2024 meeting of ANC 3C. We will get started with the establishment of a quorum this evening, starting with myself representing 3C03. I am present. 3C04.
Present.
3C05. Not here
Present.
yet. Okay. I always get your number mixed up with Tammy's, sorry. 3C06. It's Tammy and I don't see her yet. 3C07.
I'm here.
3C08.
Here.
3C01. And 3C02.
Here.
Excellent. With that, we have 7 of our 8 commissioners present and therefore a quorum. I will verify that notice of this meeting was sent to the listservs, to the Cleveland Park Main Streets, Woodley Park Main Streets, CPCA, the ANC notice list, WPCA, Twitter, and on our website a week in advance of this meeting. We will now move on to the approval of the agenda and the consent calendar. With the approval of the agenda and any items on the consent calendar, those items on the consent calendar would then be approved and would not be up for further discussion this evening. So on the consent calendar tonight, we have the approval of the February 2024 meeting minutes, a resolution regarding designated open stroller space on WMATA Metro buses, a letter of support for the Cleveland Park Day, Sunday, June 2nd. Was that date correct? As part of the special events permit application filed by District Bridges. It's June 2nd, right? Okay, cool. A resolution regarding HPRB application for 3400 Lowell Street, Cleveland Park Congregational Church, HPA 24-198 ADA compliant ramps to sanctuary and hall entrances, and a resolution regarding HPRB application for 3525 Ordway Street, HPA 24-163, replacement of deck and garage. Does anyone have any changes they'd like to make to the agenda or the consent calendar? All those in favor of approving the agenda and consent calendar as is, please raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
All right, I see all 7 hands are up and appreciate that. So with that, all the items on the consent calendar are approved. Thank you all for your work on that. And so is our agenda moving forward. So we'll move on to announcements, starting with single member district reports. Does anyone have a single member district report that they would like to share with us this evening? Commissioner Siddiqui.
Yeah, I actually have the pleasure of, if it's possible, Commissioner Pagets, that you can make Caitlin Tuttle, I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly, a co-host. I just want to yield some time to them because they have a very exciting thing to tell us.
Great.
Hi, everyone. I just got to get myself off mute here. Thank you so much for the introduction, for allowing us to join the meeting today. As you mentioned, my name is Caitlin Tuttle, and this is my husband and business partner, James.
Hi there.
And we are so excited to be joining the Cleveland Park neighborhood this coming spring/summer.
June, hopefully.
Yeah, ideally June, all things going to plan. We currently own a plant store in DuPont Circle called Planter. We're coming up on 2 years in that space, and we are bringing a new concept onto the Connecticut Avenue, that new development there. And we are partnering with Queen's English. If you're familiar, it's a really fantastic restaurant in Cleveland Park, or excuse me, not Cleveland Park.
Looks like some people
Columbia Heights
are aware.
Yeah, I see some head nodding.
Yeah.
So they have a really reputable wine program. One of the owners just won a Michelin Sommelier of the Year. So we are partnering with them to bring a wine shop and plant store to that space. And because it will be a new concept, a new business, the new name of this space will be Vinery. So we're going to be right in that kind of corner where Fresh Baguette is, if anyone has seen that pop up. But yeah, we just want to take this opportunity to introduce ourselves, and we're just so excited to be part of the community.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. So are you going to be where the old, what was it, that parking lot was, and
Yeah,
Yes.
new
Yeah.
Macklin building? That's awesome. That's going to be
Yeah.
some really unique space, especially once that public courtyard is
yeah,
finished.
we're very excited about that.
Mhm.
It's going to be great.
You know, we do a lot of pop-up markets and other community events, so we're really excited to utilize that space to bring a lot of activations.
Yeah, our current iteration planter, I think we have 22 is our current count, local small businesses represented in our store. We probably won't have that much in this new one, just because we're tailoring our
Just honing
offerings
in on our
a little
products,
bit
but-
more. But we still plan to, in whatever way we can, continue to support small businesses with our small business. So yeah.
Excellent. Commissioner Nash, did you have a question on this, or do you have your hand up for a single member?
My hand is up, but I believe Commissioner Prinzo has had me.
Okay. Well, thank you all for sharing this news. It's great to start with the good news on these meetings, and I appreciate it, and
Yeah.
look forward to welcoming you guys to the neighborhood. This is awesome.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And please reach out if anyone has any questions.
Yeah, I'll share our email addresses in the chat in case anybody wants them or has questions or anything like that.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. I totally won the SMD report for today, right?
You
So-
did it.
I
You did.
mean, I feel like a market of one on that one. So I'm like, are you trying to hurt me with things that I love so much?
Commissioner Gordon's money is all going to be.
Yeah,
The only
exactly.
thing that
She's
you could
gonna
add to
lose-
that to make me happier would be like books, but the library is right next door.
That's
Thank
spectacular.
you.
All right, Commissioner Frenzo.
Well, I don't mean to dampen the mood after that, but as all of you are aware, this past October, this ANC voted in support of allowing a grocery store to open in Woodley Park in the former Ace Hardware space. This past month at the Public Space Committee, sorry, I was getting safety and space confused. The application was denied, which effectively denies Woodley Park a grocery store. So we are aware of a community-run petition to appeal the decision to the higher powers that be. So if you're interested in signing it, please let me know. I can get you in touch with the people. Or I can't put it in the chat. It's not
You
letting
can
me.
put it in the
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Commissioner Nash.
Sure, I have an announcement, and it's hard to compete with the first one when the subject is speed limit signs. But as many may know, going back now to 2020, the city promulgated new rules that lowered the default speed limit on streets in the district to 20 miles an hour. Intended to be on all local streets, which is the lowest classification, but also on other streets as appropriate. So, collectors and other things. Within the SMD that I represent, which to oversimplify is roughly between Rodman Street in the north, Guy Mason in the south, 34th Street and 36th Street, parts of Wisconsin. DDOT has recently installed new 25-mile-an-hour speed limit signs, including on roads where they've also put in speed humps or downhill grade to a playground. So I'm just trying to collect instances of where the new speed limit signs are just inappropriate so that we can get DDOT to fix them. But this is, clearly something throughout the ANC. So, I would invite you to, if you notice speed limits on a street where you live or you frequent that seem too high, send them to me, but we will handle them. I'll handle the SMD I represent, but I know that the Transportation Committee will be very interested in making sure that that is right. It'd be one thing if these are old speed limit signs, because we all realize they take a while to replace, but apparently the ones that I'm speaking of are new. So thank you.
Great, thank you. Any other single member district reports this evening? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to the next item, which is committee reports, starting with safe, sustainable, and equitable transportation.
Yeah, thanks everyone, and thank you, Commissioner Nash, for the comment on the speed limit signs as well. So we met at our last meeting. Well, we didn't have a meeting this month. We had a meeting previous month, which resulted in the WMATA Metro Bus Open Stroller program. So that's the resolution that was passed today on the consent calendar. We do not have anything else on the agenda for next month. So unless someone tells me that we need to discuss an item, we will likely be canceling the committee meeting for next month.
Great, thanks for the update. Transparency and public process.
We will be having a meeting on Thursday, April 4th at 6:30 to talk about the ANC's FY25 budget priorities letter.
Okay, although we still don't know when the mayor will be dropping the
Yes,
budget.
that's obviously
So
tentative
it
too.
will not be on Wednesday as scheduled.
Yes.
More to come on that. The Community Engagement and Grants Committee.
No report from the last month. We do have a grant application in hand, which I'll be distributing, and we'll be scheduling a meeting for the end of this month in advance of next month's ANC meeting.
Great, thank you. Planning, zoning, housing, and economic development. We also did not have a meeting this past month. TBD if we'll have one this month. I'll reach out to the committee members and the commissioners to see if there's anything you all want to put on an agenda for that. And if there's nothing, we can go ahead and cancel that. I haven't seen any applications that we would need to review in that committee as of right now.
I haven't either.
Okay.
I'll check with Gina on Buffalo and Bergen, but I don't think so.
Okay, great. Residential historic preservation.
Residential Historic Preservation Committee met earlier this month and considered two applications that were the subject of the consent calendar resolutions, namely the accessible ramp for the Cleveland Park Congregational Church and then a residential application on Ordway Street.
And TBD if we need to have one also next month, right? Because
Correct.
I haven't seen any other applications.
Yeah, and the HPRB has been dealing with quorum issues as well, as you know.
Yes. There have been 4 names put up though to fill the open positions that I saw in the register not this past week, but the week before. So, well, better late than never, I guess. Okay, environmental justice.
Yes, Environmental Justice Committee met last Tuesday. The meeting was with students from the School Without Walls discussing their proposal for Green New Deal for schools, which resulted in the resolution that's on the agenda for later tonight. So we'll speak more about that then. Our April meeting is scheduled for April 9th, but is also tentative at this point. Open suggestions for a topic. And if we do have one, I will let everybody know.
Great, thank you. All right, public safety.
I'll just note a couple of things, and I know Commissioner Prinzo will have some things to add. The Public Safety Committee meeting is meeting this week after the ANC meeting on Wednesday, March 20th at 7 o'clock. We'll be online. We will have our regular update for about 15 minutes from MPD representing PSAs 203 and 204 that are within our ANC area. And then a report by Commissioner Prinzo, and I know that you also attended Chair Pagets of Mayor Bowser's district-wide ANC public safety engagement meeting of a couple of weeks ago. And then on the legislative update, a discussion of the Safer Today, Safer Tomorrow legislation by Council Member Robert white. Adam, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, that I'm good.
Great, thank you. All right, that concludes committee reports. We'll move on to announcements from other government agencies and community organizations. So Matthew, what's the new date for the budget?
He's gonna release the
I-
budget right now.
I don't know. But I will let you know as soon as possible. And then I suspect that the April meeting or early May meeting, we would ask you guys to allow our director to come present that to you. But that's upcoming, I'm assuming. All right,
Well, legally, it's required, so.
I see. If everybody doesn't know, my name is Matthew Barclay. I'm the Ward 3 Mokers for the Mayor's Office of Community Relations and Services. Swale will drop my information in the chat. Some positive things. We are now ranked the best place to pursue a tech career. We lead the nation for office to apartment conversions, and we lead in women-owned business openings. Sorry. Okay. OSSI encourages DC residents to interested in higher education to apply to 3 tuition support programs: DC Futures, DC Tuition Assistance Grant, and Mayor's Scholars Undergraduate Program. If you need any more information on that, please email me. My information is now in the chat. On Monday, DemPed, along with Mayor Bowser, launched on behalf of Mayor Bowser, launched the district's Housing in Downtown program. The Housing in Downtown program will catalyze development and add thousands of new residents to downtown DC through a 20-year tax abatement. So that is cool. I can also provide you more information on that if you're interested.
Great.
On Monday, March 11th, Mayor Bowser signed the Secure DC bill into law, following the bill's 12-0 passage by the council. So that's positive news. More positive news on the public safety front. Crime is down in the first 2.5 months of 2024. Total crime down 12%, property crime down 12%, violent crime down 15%, assault with a dangerous weapon down 34%, and homicides are down 36%. And that is of 3 days ago. All right. Summer in the City. District families are invited to attend the 2nd annual Summer in the City, which will take place Saturday, April 6th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Raymond Elementary School. District youth families will hear from approximately 50 government agencies, nonprofit organizations, and community stakeholders about various programs available to them this summer. So we'd love for you guys to take advantage of that. That's all I don't have one more thing.
Oh.
I'm sorry. All right. The Biden-Harris administration will announce that DC will benefit from a partnership between the U.S. Department of Energy and Health and Human Services called the Clean Energy Connector. This program will connect households enrolled in the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LIHEAP, with community solar energy to lower energy costs and increase equitable access to clean energy. Mayor Bowser is very excited about that. So thank you, guys.
Great, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Matthew?
I do.
Okay.
Matthew, thank you for that report. I have one question. With the budget season coming up, but even under the current budget, is the city's anti-graffiti unit still funded and operating?
DPW has a graffiti team.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. Conveniently enough, Randy Thorpe from DPW is actually on the call with us and might be able to answer.
Okay, great. I mean, the reason I ask is twofold. One, now even the 2nd district station has been tagged, and it's been up there for a while. And when a police station gets tagged, clearly people feel they can just do it, without worries. And also, as someone who uses Rock Creek Park pretty frequently, as we know, I mean, the Park Service controls the park, but DPW, I think, owns and takes care of the bridges, and the bridges just have, incredible, defacement and graffiti, and it has not been taken care of since the pandemic, and it just gets worse and worse. And I don't know whether we need a concerted focus from the, DPW and maybe the Park Service or something, but, it's unfortunate. It really does despoil the natural experience in the park.
Yeah, I'll touch base with DPW. I'll have a call with Randy this week anyway, so we'll be, and we also went on a ward. I had a DPW walk with Randy on Friday at 12:30. So we discussed some of the graffiti issues up along the Connecticut Avenue corridor, and I flagged it all the way up. Pretty much the entire Connecticut Avenue needs attention to graffiti. So
Yeah, it's as well as under the bridges visible from the bike path and the parkway.
I did not flag the bridges, as I didn't think that was a responsibility, but now I'm hearing that it possibly is, so I will confirm that and send it over to DPW.
Yeah, thank you.
The Woodley Playground too. I think that's MPS though.
Yeah, that's MPS. Randy, if you wanted to chime in about the graffiti conversation now, you're more than welcome to.
Sure. Good afternoon. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Randy. Hi, what's going on, Matthew? My name is Randy Thorpe. I am the community relations specialist for DPW. And just to quickly answer your graffiti removal question, the 311 graffiti removal service request is currently active and available. If you all see graffiti and you need it removed, please submit a request. However, if it is an offensive type of graffiti language that needs immediate attention, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I will put my email in the chat. As far as graffiti on the overpass signs and things like that, DPW, we don't take care of that. However, we do have contracted personnel who addresses those types of graffiti removals, because our teams, those tend to be like very high overpass signs and situations.
Oh, did we lose Randy?
Looks like we did.
Oh no.
Oh, wait, no, she's here. Randy, can you hear us?
I see the name, but lost the volume.
The audio, yeah.
It's not muted.
No. Okay, so it sounds like the answer is still to go through the 311 requests, and then it gets routed accordingly to whoever is the.
Yes, I'm sorry, I got disconnected. Did you all hear me?
Sure. You cut out there, Ms. Thorpe, for a while. You said you'd put your email in the chat.
Yes, I'm doing that right now.
You were also speaking of the challenge of dealing with signs and overpasses and things.
Yes, we tend to contract those type of locations out to a contractor to take care of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just for your information, I mean, the graffiti now on the bridges is massive. I mean, in some cases, the letters are probably 8 or 9 feet high. Moreover, some of the bridges are old stone and, granite and not just concrete. So it will probably take, a more specialized unit to remove all that.
Right. Do you happen to have those locations on hand that you can share with me?
If you, I'll get your email address and I will give you
Yeah.
locations and photos.
Great. Okay,
put
awesome.
The email in the chat.
Great.
Feel free to copy me as well.
Thanks.
While we have Randy up, are there any other questions about other topics for DPW at this time?
Just a thank you to Randy and her team for, they addressed a lot of the trash can issues we had on, on the promenade, on the main street. I know that is something Cassandra has been working on as well. But just getting them more evenly distributed and to be at more trash cans as well, I think. Either way, hoping it abates, but thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Great. Thank you. All right, so I put Randy's email in the chat, and again, as a reminder to always use that 311 app. It's very fulfilling when you get the email that your issue's been resolved, and then you can actually see your new litter bin is there. All right, Lauren, I see your hand is up from the council member's office. The floor is yours.
Thank you. And as always, Matthew steals our thunder. But yes, the Security C Omnibus bill was signed, and we've already seen some implementation from that. So that is great to see. We also have coming up on March 28th is our Workday in the Ward. Will be in Spring Valley at the Compass Coffee on Massachusetts Avenue. So hoping that even though it's not right there in your neighborhood, that if you have interest that you'll join us. We'll be there from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. 8 to 10 in the morning is when the council member is guaranteed to be there. And it's just literally a chit chat, meet and greet with him. So if you have any questions, for the rest of the day, we have agencies such as MPD, Office of the Attorney General, Matthew will be there, or somebody else, or Theo, DLCP, Department of Buildings, Department of Public Works, Solid Waste, Education and Enforcement Program, and they're the team that go around and ensure that our neighbors are doing what they need to do to maintain their properties and the trash cans and anything they're putting out for pickups. So if you have questions around enforcement of property maintenance and trash, feel free to visit us that day. Department of Transportation, DPW, and then of course our team will be there the full day. So even if you are not able to run into one of those agency members, you can just come meet and greet, ask us a question, we can dig into some constituent issues. As Matthew mentioned, the budget is delayed a little bit. However, Councilmember Freeman did put out a budget letter that outlines his priorities for the fiscal year 2025 budget, and I will put a link to that in the chat so that can be shared. And then I will also put a link for the newsletter. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Just some additional updates. If you are not signed up for our newsletter, please do, because we do provide up-to-date, or I should say as up-to-date of details as we have about things like the Wilson Aquatic Center. So right now, the latest news on the Wilson Aquatic Center is that that will be a spring opening. We had a fruitful conversation with the director a couple of weeks ago where he indicated that this truly has become a capital project, and there are things such as locks that need to be replaced on doors, and which now currently pose a security issue. So that all needs to be done before they are going to reopen. And all of that as a result of the original heat and humidity issues in the building that have kind of led to what we are dealing with now, such as the HVAC replacement and all the other issues. I will go ahead and put the budget letter link in the chat, as well as a newsletter sign up in the chat, and happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for the council member's office? Nope. All right. Thank you. With that, we will move on to community organizations. Any community organizations wish to share announcements with us this evening? Cassandra, go ahead.
Well, good evening. I'm Cassandra Hetherington, Cleveland Park Main Street. Tammy beat me to thanking DPW for the trash cans. You've never seen so many excited business owners about trash cans. So thank you very much to Randy.
I got excited.
Mr. Williams, everybody who made that happen. In early April, the sculptures for the endangered animals should be up on the lamppost in Woodley Park in Cleveland Park. I don't have an exact date. I just know early April. On April 6th, Cleveland Park Main Street has been working with the ANC to plan a ribbon cutting party on the promenade. April 6th is a Saturday, 4 to 6 p.m. We'll have mascots. We're going to have entertainment by School of Rock, dancing by Flamenco for Kids, silent disco, line dancing, someone in a squirrel costume, maybe. So it should be a lot of fun. And then stick around Cleveland Park from after that. Businesses are going to be offering specials. My dog is about to go nuts, sorry. And then on April 27th from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m., we are going to celebrate along with Woodley Park Main Street and Capitol Hill Arts Workshop, the fabulous new sculptures. There's going to be a ribbon cutting down across the street from the zoo at 3000 Connecticut at 11 a.m. And then between 11 and 1, you can stroll up and down Connecticut Avenue and you can meet the artists, you can see the art, you can hear music. We've hired 10 musicians, so it'll be spaced around Connecticut Avenue. So just cross your fingers, the weather is good for all of those dates. All right, thanks everybody.
Great, thank you. Robert, did you have anything from Woodley Park Main Streets?
No, the sculptures are the most important thing. I'm still working on the market announcement. Hopefully have that at the next meeting. Thanks.
Great, thank you. All right, any other community organizations? All right, thank you all.
Janelle, there's one thing I forgot. If John isn't on, that we're having the Meet Your Neighbor at Elsa's Ethiopian Kitchen this week, tomorrow.
Yes, that's tomorrow at, what time does it start? Do you recall?
I don't. I think it's 7 o'clock, but don't hold me to that.
Okay. Cool, and that's with the Woodley Park Community Association.
Yes.
Great, thank you. All right. So now we're moving on to the community forum section of the meeting where members of the public are invited to ask questions and raise concerns about issues that are not otherwise on the agenda. So we please ask that you be brief if you wish to raise something or ask a question. You can raise your virtual hand or turn on your camera and raise your real hand. Janine, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jeannie. The lights on the Taft Bridge have been on 24/7 for about 5 or 6 weeks. I'm wondering what can be done so they are only on in the evening.
Interesting. Huh. And have they, I'm thinking they've replaced them on one side of the bridge to be the new lights and not on the other side of the bridge yet, from what I recall noting last time I was down there. But we'll look into that. Let me reach out to DDOT and see who can help with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It's interesting because I'm usually complaining that they're out on half the side of the bridge at night and on the other half, and I can't figure that out either, but we'll work to resolve. Thank you for bringing it up. Any other questions or community concerns? I have not seen any more hands up. All right. Thank you again. We'll now move on to commission business, where our first item is the resolution regarding support for the Green New Deal for schools. Commissioner McCorson, do you want to introduce and then make a motion? And you don't have to, obviously, this is what, 11 pages or 12 pages at this point. If you want to summarize.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes, you
So-
can.
Right. It is very long. The text is a product of the work of the students from School Without Walls who we hosted at our meeting last week. And in drafting it, we used their draft text that they are advocating for, that they went to the school, the State Board of Ed with, for example. And we personalized it by adding a few whereas clauses at the beginning to underscore 3 C's, support, and to kind of localize it a little bit. I'll sum up by reading the therefore clauses. Therefore, be it resolved that ANC 3C calls on the mayor and DC Council to support the Green New Deal for schools by prioritizing legislative and budget measures that are consistent with the tenets of a Green New Deal for schools, and namely, 1, update school buildings, buses, and other school infrastructure to run on 100% clean energy, be climate resilient, and ensure safe, non-toxic learning environments. 2, provide locally sourced and sustainably grown lunches for all students for free to make sure no student goes through the school day hungry. 3, offer opportunities to connect students with meaningful and good-paying union jobs combating the climate crisis. 4, create climate disaster plans so that school administrations are prepared to help students recover and use buildings as designated relief zones for their local communities. 5, incorporate a comprehensive climate justice curriculum developed by educators and students, not elites and extremists, that helps students understand our history and prepares them to face the climate crisis. Be it further resolved that ANC3C calls on Congress and the President of the United States to pass the Green New Deal for Public Schools Act of 2023 and the landmark investments in K-12 educational equity, clean energy infrastructure, and climate resilience for students and communities across America. Be it further resolved that the Commission designates the Chair and the Commissioner for 3C04 to represent the Commission in all matters relating to this resolution.
Second.
Great, thank you. All right, we'll open it up for discussion amongst the commissioners first, and then open it up to the community before we vote on this. So is there any discussion from any of the commissioners? Commissioner Siddiqui?
Yeah, I just want to thank Commissioner McCorriston first for scheduling the meeting with the students, and then organizing everything, getting them to come speak, and then also, taking the effort on writing this resolution. So thank you so much for leading this, and you're doing good work for our commission, so really appreciate that. And also want to thank Commissioner Pagets for her edits to the resolution, because I know she added stuff to it too.
Thanks. I really just added what all the kids had included in it, because it was an impressive amount of work and research that they did, and really laid out the case for their reason why this is important and why it needs to happen and be funded now. Just my 2 cents on this is we pay for these things one way or another. If we pay for them upfront in the schools by providing healthy, nutritious lunches, by providing safe environments, like environmental wise, for the children to be learning in, we have better outcomes, health wise, education wise, like all of the things. And if we choose not to, we're going to pay for it in the end. And it's going to be more expensive down the road and harmful, right? Than it is if we do it now. Budgets are moral and documents, so it shows what you as a society value when you put forth budget priorities. And I think our tendency in the United States of America to consistently underfund our schools is criminal, and we need to stop it. And it's obviously something I feel passionate about. So will I be at a lot of budget hearings again? Yes, I will be. And these kids are great, and they're making this move on their own behalf. And I really appreciate their efforts, but it shouldn't be this hard. So that's my comment on that. Commissioner Nash.
Thanks. I'm going to vote for this resolution. Although I recognize that it's aspirational a bit. Actually, it's maybe a lot aspirational given the city's budget challenges and those in the public schools. But without aspiration, there's not much progress. And I hope that in 2 of the challenge areas, which in fact are addressed by the resolutions, the city puts some focus. And the first is, of course, transportation, public transportation, hopefully green transportation, to get more kids to school. Within the SMD that I represent this year, a number of areas were shifted to the new MacArthur High School. And despite efforts, including from this ANC, which I believe passed a resolution, there's still no good public transportation option to get from neighborhoods within our ANC to MacArthur, absent taking a hub and spoke that I think in the best timing takes 75 minutes when things work well. And beyond that, so much of our educational system is dependent on private automobile transport, particularly at the elementary school level, where it may be harder for kids to take public transportation, but the reality is we need more school buses and hopefully ones that are green. The second point is on that the resolution speaks to a bit is more green infrastructure in schools and systems. And, during the pandemic, DC actually got a lot of federal money to upgrade ventilation systems with enhanced filtration and to enhance the health of our students and faculty and staff, and that those systems would be energy efficient. And unfortunately, I think the evidence is not a lot was spent on systems, but was rather spent on other things, including operating expenses. So I hope in all the areas addressed by the resolution, but particularly in these two, that the city puts some real focus. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Prinzo.
I just wanted to thank Commissioner McCorson and the members of his committee for this resolution, and Chair Pagets for her impassioned speech. But I do think it's great, and we also should continue to, separate of this, push the mayor to fully fund DCPS, because somebody needs to take our public education seriously.
Great, thank you. Any other commissioners have comment? Okay, we'll move on to anyone in the public wishing to make a comment on this resolution. You can raise your hand virtually or not. Okay, I don't see Commissioner Geis. Did you want to say something?
Apologies, didn't mean to raise my hand.
Sorry?
Didn't mean to raise my hand, sorry.
Okay. So seeing and hear no other comments or questions, I make a motion to, Commissioner McCorson.
Yeah, before we vote, I just wanted to mention that the students gave us some dates during the meeting last week. They're looking for, or hoping that people from the community will testify at some of the hearings. I don't have the dates in front of me, but we can.
Well, those dates are going to shift now that the mayor hasn't produced the budget to the council at the current time. So,
and we'll follow up on that.
Yeah, basically everything is kind of canceled as of, or postponed as of this moment in time. So.
Okay, so TBD, but we'll keep an eye out on that.
Yes, but there will be opportunity to make the pitch and the pleas to council and in the next few weeks, hopefully. All right. So with that, I move that we vote on this resolution in support of the Green New Deal for schools. All those in favor of this resolution, raise your hand or say aye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Commissioner Prinzo, are you an aye on this? Yep. There you go.
Yes, sorry.
8. So that's 8-0 to 0. The resolution passes. And again, thank you for your work on this, Commissioner McPherson. I appreciate it. It was really inspiring to see the students work on this and their passion. So
yeah.
Thank you. All right, moving on. Our next item is the treasurer's report. Commissioner Siddiqui, do you have a treasurer's report for us this evening?
Nothing to report. Our security fund application still hasn't been approved yet. They asked for some revisions. I sent them the revisions back last week, and they should have received them last Monday. So I've not heard back yet. Commissioner Pagets is CC'd on all those emails, so she's been seeing what's going on.
Yeah, which they said that they received the items that were sent. I followed up asking for when we would receive an approval that they had all of the items that they needed and that we were approved. so we can write checks, and there has been no response to my ask for a timeline. So we'll follow up again with that. So with that, let's move on to discussing and then voting on some possible expenses to support the Cleveland Park Day event. So for this event in Cleveland Park on sorry, I had the wrong date on the other thing because I copied it from something else. On Sunday, June 2nd, the ANC 3C would like to use as expense funds money to fund a dunk tank at $542.51, the stage rental at $1,072.89, and the sound system rental at $1,370.73. We would fund this through District Bridges as a sponsor, ANC 3C sponsorship of this event, of these specific expenses related to the larger expenses within the event. So the total on that is, I did it in my calculator and now I can't find the calculator, $2,986.13. And this event is open to the entire community. And Cassandra, do we know how many hours it's going to be at? I'm sorry if I spaced it. 5 hours. And there's, a ton of other DC agencies would be there, vendors, all of the good stuff, entertainment. And the ANC would also have a table available at the event where we would be able to provide information and flyers regarding, our meetings, our committees, other upcoming events, all of the good things like that. And also, the people who will be in the dunk tank will be ANC commissioners. I've at least volunteered. Commissioner Siddiqui's also volunteered. So we think it'll be a real fun opportunity to, just have some fun and build some community and get some more information out there about what the ANC does and can do for the larger community, but also have fun while doing that engagement work.
I may or may not be miraculously on vacation on that day that I'm unaware of right now.
Can't believe I have to vote for this.
So technically, in our budget that we voted on to approve late last year, right, for this fiscal year, we did include, and correct me if I'm wrong, $6,000 as a line item for expenses for things like this. So we are just doing this in public to be fully transparent that the money that we're spending out of the $6,000 that we budgeted, that in that dollar amount of, almost $3,000 is for this purpose. The other thing to note is we can also always amend that budget should we need to put more money in that bucket, but this is part of that line item.
I will
we're-
say, Commissioner Siddiqui, you look very thrilled that we're voting on this right now.
Well, he's looking for the line item right now to make sure
I'm
not.
just making because Commissioner
Oh.
Pagets was like she wanted to confirm.
Okay.
That's me looking through my documents, and yes, we do have a $6,000 budgeted in other.
Yes, which is what this is considered as an expense sponsorship type thing. So with that, I make the motion to discuss this. Is there a second?
Second.
Great. Does anyone have any discussion, any questions, comments, concerns? Commissioner Nash, if you want priority in the dunk tank before the rest of us, you just let me know. It'll be fun. Nobody has to. Okay, with that, I'll make the motion to vote on approving the expense for these rental items for Cleveland Park Day in the amount of $2,986.13. All those in favor of approving this expense, raise your hand or say aye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, that's approved as an expense. So thank you all for that. And with that, it is the favorite part of the meeting where
Motion
we
to adjourn.
In record time too.
there a second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of adjourning this month's March 2024 public meeting, raise your hand or say aye. All right, seeing all the hands were up. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all again for your work and for joining us this evening, and enjoy the rest of your nights.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.